April 7th, 2 Samuel 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. 2 Samuel 8. And it came to be that after David struck the Philistines and humbled them, and David took the bridle of the mother city out of the hand of the Philistines, he also struck Moab, and measured them off with a line, causing them to lie down on the earth. With 2 lines he measured off those to be put to death, and with 1 complete line those he kept alive. And the Moabites became David's servants, and brought presents. David also struck Hadadezer, son of Rehob, sovereign of Tishboah, and as he went to restore his rule at the river Euphrates. And David captured from him 1,700 horsemen and 20,000 foot soldiers. And David destroyed all the chariots, but he left of them 100 chariots. And the Arameans of Damascus came to help Hadadezer, sovereign of Zobah, and David struck 22,000 of the Arameans. Then David put watchposts in Aram of Damascus, and the Arameans became David's servants and brought presents. And Yah saved David wherever he went. And David took the shields of gold which were on the servants of Hadadezer, and brought them to Jerusalem. And from Betah and from Berothai, cities of Hadadezer, sovereign David took very much bronze. And Toi, sovereign of Hamath, heard that David had stricken all the army of Hadadezer. So Toi sent Joram, his son, to sovereign David to ask peace of him and bless him, because he fought against Hadadezer and struck him. For Hadadezer had battles with Toi. And Joram brought with him objects of silver, and objects of gold, and objects of bronze. And sovereign David also set these apart to Yah, along with the silver and the gold that he had set apart from all the nations which he had humbled, from Aram and from Moab, from the children of Ammon and from the Philistines, and from Amalek, and from the spoils of Hadadezer son of Rehob, sovereign of Zobah. And David made a name for himself when he returned from striking 18,000 Arameans in the valley of Salt. And he put watchposts in Edom. Throughout all Edom he put watchposts, and all the Edomites became David's servants. And Yah saved David wherever he went. And David ruled over Israel, and David was doing right ruling and righteousness to all his people. And Joab, son of Tisheruah, was over the army. And Jehoshaphat, son of Ahilud, was recorder. And Zadok, son of Ahitub, and Amalek, son of Abiathar, were the priests. And Siriah was the scribe. And Beniyahu, son of Yehoiada, was over both the Ketherites and the Pelethites. And David's sons were priests. 2 Samuel 9. And David said, "Is there still anyone who is left of the house of Saul, that I might show him loving commitment because of Jonathan?" And the house of Saul had a servant whose name was Tishba, and they had called him to David. And the sovereign said to him, "Are you Tishba?" And he said, "Your servant." And the sovereign said, "Is there not still someone of the house of Saul, so that I show him loving commitment of Elohim? The loving commitment of Elohim?" And Tishba said to the sovereign, "There is still a son of Jonathan, lame in his feet." And the sovereign said to him, "Where is he?" And Tishba said to the Sovereign, see, he is in the house of Machir, son of Amiel, in Lo-debar. And and sovereign David sent and brought him out of the house of Machir, son of Amiel, from Lo-debar. And Mephibosheth, son of Jonathan, son of Saul, came to David, and fell on his face, and did obeisance. And David said, Mephibosheth. And he answered, Here is your servant. David then said to him, Do not fear, for I shall certainly show you loving commitment, because of Jonathan your father, and shall return you all to the land of Saul your grandfather, and let you eat bread at my table continually. And he bowed himself and said, What is your servant, that you should turn to such a dead dog as I? And the sovereign called Tishba, servant of Saul, and said to him, I have given to your master's son all that belonged to Saul, and to all his house. And you and your sons and your servants shall work the land for him, and shall bring in its yield, and your master's son shall have food to eat. But let Mephibosheth, your master's son, eat bread at my table always. And Tishba had 15 sons and 20 servants. And Tishba said to the sovereign, According to all that my master the sovereign has commanded his servant, your servant does. As for Mephibosheth, said the sovereign, he shall eat at my table as one of the sons of the sovereign. And Mephibosheth had a young son whose name was Micah, and all who dwelt in the house of Tishba were servants of Mephibosheth. And Mephibosheth was dwelling in Jerusalem, for he ate continually at the sovereign's table, and he was lame in both his feet. 2 Samuel 10. And after this it came to be that the sovereign of the children of Ammon died, and Hanun his son reigned in his place. And David said, Let me show loving commitment to Hanun, son of Nahash, as his father showed loving commitment to me. So David sent by the hand of his servants to comfort him concerning his father. And when David's servants came into the land of the children of Ammon, the chiefs of the children of Ammon said to Hanun, their master, Is David esteeming your father in your eyes, in that he has sent comforters to you? Has David not rather sent his servants to you to search the city, and to spy it out, and to overthrow it? So Hanun took David's servants and shaved off half of their beards, and cut off their garments in the middle, as far as their buttocks, and sent them away. And they informed David, and he sent to meet them, because the men were greatly ashamed. And the sovereign said, Wait at Jericho, I believe, until your beards have grown, and then return. And when the children of Ammon saw that they had become a stench to David, the children of Ammon sent and hired Armenians of Beth Rehob and Armenians of Soba, 20,000 foot soldiers, and the sovereign of Ma'akah 1,000 men, and men of Tob 12,000 men. And David heard and sent Joab and the entire army, the mighty men. And the children of Ammon came out and put themselves in battle array at the entrance of the gate. And the Armenians of Soba and Rehob and men of Tob and Ma'akah were by themselves in the field. And Joab saw that the battle line was against him, before and behind. And he chose out of all the chosen men of Israel, and put them in battle array against the Armenians. And the rest of the people he gave under the hand of Abishai, his brother, and he put them in battle array against the children of Ammon. And he said, If the Arameans are too strong for me, then you shall help me. But if the children of Ammon are too strong for you, then I shall come and help you. Be strong, and let us show strength for our people, and for the cities of our Elohim, and let Yah do what is good in his eyes. And Joab drew near, and the people with him, to battle against Aram, and they fled before him. And when the children of Ammon saw that the Arameans were fleeing, they also fled before Abishai, and went into the city. And Joab returned from the children of Ammon, and came to Jerusalem. And Aram saw that they were smitten before Israel, and they gathered together. And Hadaezer sent and brought out the Arameans who were beyond the river, and they came to Helam. And Sobak, the commander of the army of Hadaezer, went before them. And it was reported to David, and he gathered all Israel, and passed over the Jordan, and came to Helam. And Aram set themselves in battle array against David, and they fought with him. And Aram fled before Israel, and David killed 700 charioteers and 40,000 horsemen of Aram. And he struck Shobak, commander of their army, who died there. All the sovereigns, the servants of Hadaezer, saw that they were smitten by Israel, and made peace with Israel, and served them. And the Arameans were afraid to help the children of Ammon any more. 2 Samuel 11. And it came to be at the turn of the year, at the time sovereigns go out to battle, that David sent Joab and his servants with him, and all Israel, and they destroyed the children of Ammon, and besieged Rabbah. But David remained at Jerusalem. And it came to be, at evening time, that David rose up from his bed, and walked about on the roof of the sovereign's house. And from the roof he saw a woman bathing, and the woman was very good to look at. And David sent and asked about the woman. And one said, Is this not Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? And David sent messengers to fetch her, and she came to him, and he lay with her, for she was cleansing herself from her uncleanness, and returned to her house. And the woman conceived, and sent and informed David, and said, I am pregnant. Then David sent to Joab, Send Uriah the Hittite to me. And Joab sent Uriah to David. And Uriah came to him, and David asked how Joab was doing, and how the people were doing, and how the fighting was going. And David said to Uriah, Go down to your house and wash your feet. And Uriah went out from the sovereign's house, and a gift from the sovereign followed him. But Uriah lay down at the door of the sovereign's house, with all the servants of his master, and did not go down to his house. And they informed David, saying, Uriah did not go down to his house. So David said to Uriah, Why did you not come? Did you not come from a journey? Why did you not go down to your house? And Uriah said to David, The ark and Israel and Judah are dwelling in booths, and my master Joab and the servants of my master are encamped in the open fields. And should I go to my house to eat and drink, and to lie with my wife? As you live, and as your being lives, let me not do this. And David said to Uriah, Remain here today also, and tomorrow I let you go. So Uriah remained in Jerusalem that day and the next. And David called him, and he ate and drank before him. And he made him drunk. And at evening he went out to lie in his bed with the servants of his master, but he did not go down to his house. And it came to be in the morning that David wrote a letter to Joab, and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote in the letter, saying, Set Uriah in the front of the toughest battle, and you shall turn away from him, and he shall be stricken, and shall die. And it came to be, as Joab watched the city, that he appointed Uriah to the place where he knew there were brave men. And the men of the city came out and fought with Joab, and some of the people of the servants of David fell. And Uriah the Hittite also died. And Joab sent and reported to David all the events of the battle, and commanded the messenger, saying, When you have finished reporting all the events of the battle to the sovereign, then it shall be, if the sovereign's wrath rises, and he says to you, Why did you go so near to the city when you fought? Why did you not know that they would shoot from the wall? Who struck Abimelech, the son of Jerubesheth? Was it not a woman who threw an upper millstone on him from the wall, so that he died in Thebez? Why did you go near the wall? Then you shall say, Your servant Uriah the Hittite is also dead. And the messenger went, and came and reported to David all which Joab had sent him. And the messenger said to David, The men have been mighty against us, and come out to us in the field. But we drove them back as far as the entrance of the gate. And the archers shot from the wall at your servants, and some of the sovereign's servants are dead. And your servant Uriah the Hittite is also dead. And David said to the messenger, Say to Joab, Do not let this matter be evil in your eyes, for the sword devours one as well as another. Strengthen your attack against the city, and overthrow it, and strengthen him. And the wife of Uriah heard that Uriah her husband was dead, and she lamented for her husband. When her mourning was over, David sent and brought her to his house, and she became his wife and bore him a son. But the deed that David had done was evil in the eyes of Yah. Then Yah sent Nathan to David, and he came to him and said to him, There were two men in one city, one rich and the other poor. The rich one had flocks and herds, very many, but the poor one only had one little ewe lamb, which he had bought and kept alive. And it grew up with him, and with his children together. And it ate of his own food, and drank from his own cup, and lay in his bosom. And it was like a daughter to him. And a traveler came to the rich man, who refused to take from his own flock, and from his own herd to prepare one for the wayfaring man who had come to him. But he took the poor man's lamb, and prepared it for the man who had come to him. And the wrath of David burned greatly against the man. And he said to Nathan, As Yah lives, the man who has done this is a son of death. Also, he has to repay fourfold for the lamb, because he did this deed, and because he had no compassion. Then Nathan said to David, You are the man. Thus said Yah, Elohim of Israel, I anointed you sovereign over Israel, and I delivered you from the hand of Saul, and I gave you your master's house, and your master's wives into your bosom, and gave you the house of Israel and Judah. And if that were not enough, I would also have given you much more. Why have you despised the word of Yah to do evil in his eyes? You have struck Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and his wife you took to be your wife, and you have killed him with the sword of the children of Ammon. And now the sword does not turn aside from your house, because you have despised me, and have taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be your wife. Thus said Yah, See, I am rising up evil against you from your own house, and shall take your wives before your eyes, and give them to your neighbor, and he shall lie with your wives in the sight of this son. For you did it in secret, but I shall do this deed before all Israel, and before the sun. And David said to Nathan, I have sinned against Yah. And Nathan said to David, Also, Yah has put away your sin, you shall not die. However, because by this deed you have greatly scorned Yah, the child also who is born to you shall certainly die. And Nathan went to his house, and Yah smote the child that Uriah's wife had borne to David, and he was sick. And David sought Elohim for the child, and David fasted, and went in and spent all night lying on the ground. So the elders of his house stood up over him to raise him up from the earth, but he would not, nor did he eat food with them. And on the 7th day it came to be that the child died. And the servants of David were afraid to inform him that the child was dead. For they said, Look, while the child was alive we spoke to him, and he would not listen to our voice. And how do we say to him, The child is dead? Then he shall do evil. And David saw that his servants were whispering, and David perceived that the child was dead. And David said to his servants, Is the child dead? And they said, He is dead. David then rose up from the ground, and washed and anointed himself, and changed his garments, and went into the house of Yah, and bowed himself. Then he came to his own house, and asked, and they set food before him. So he ate. And his servant said to him, What is this that you have done? You fasted and wept because of the living child. But when the child died, you rose up and ate food. And he said, While the child was alive, I fasted and wept, for I said, Who knows whether Yah shows favor unto me, and the child shall live? But now he is dead, why should I fast? Am I able to bring him back again? I am going to him, but he does not return to me. And David informed Bathsheba his wife, and went into her, and lay with her. So she bore a son, and called his name Solomon. And Yah loved him, and sent by the hand of Nathan the prophet, and called his name Yedidiah, because of Yah. And Joab fought against Rabbah of the children of Ammon, and captured the royal city. And Joab sent messengers to David, and said, I have fought against Rabbah, and I have captured the city's water supply. And now gather the rest of the people together, and encamp against the city, and capture it, lest I capture the city, and it be called after my name. And David gathered all the people, and went to Rabbah, and fought against it, and captured it. And he took their sovereign's crown from his head, and its weight was a talent of gold, with precious stones, and it was on David's head. And he brought out all the spoil of the city, a very great amount. And he brought out the people who were in it, and set them to the saw, and to sharp instruments of iron, and to axes of iron, and made them pass over to the brickworks. And so he did with all the cities of the children of Ammon. And David and all the people returned to Jerusalem. I think a talent of gold is 30 pounds. Anyways,